Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping right into a super practical guide for leaders trying to navigate the, let's be honest, kind of chaotic world of AI. Our sources today lay out a really clear roadmap for how to not just get by, but to actually come out on top. Okay, so let's get right to the heart of it. This question, which comes from some fantastic research by Ignite HCM, is pretty much what every leader's wrestling with. The whole AI revolution, well, it's not coming anymore, it's already here. And the answer to this question, it might not be what you think. Because, having the shiniest new AI tool is completely useless if your team doesn't know how to use it or, and this is key, how to question it and adapt alongside it. So the focus really has to shift away from the tech itself and onto the people who are going to make it sing. Right. So the most crucial thing, the absolute starting point, is getting the human element right first. And that all begins with building a culture that is, at its core, resilient. According to Ignite HCM, these 5 things are basically non-negotiable. And it makes perfect sense when you think about it, right? An AI can crunch numbers like nobody's business, but it can't collaborate with a teammate on a really tricky problem or show genuine emotional intelligence to a client who's having a tough day. These uniquely human skills, this is what allows a team to pivot, to learn, and to innovate with the technology, not just be a cog in its machine. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, looking at how employees actually see AI. A study from Umeå University just nailed this. One person they talked to, Patrick, he framed it perfectly. He said you should think of AI not as some all-knowing genius, but like a brilliant intern from MIT, incredibly capable but with zero real-world experience. It needs your guidance. And that whole intern idea, well, it creates this huge tug-of-war that leaders have to deal with. On one hand, your team sees AI as this amazing superhuman accelerator that gets rid of the grunt work. But on the other hand, they also see this massive gap where the AI spits out these perfect, ambitious plans that just don't account for the messy reality of getting things done. So how do we bridge that gap? Well, it all starts with a completely different mindset. We have to stop thinking about AI as just a tool for automation and start seeing it for what it truly can be, a partner, a collaborator. This is the goal right here. What we're talking about is a real partnership. This idea of human-AI collaboration, or HAIC, isn't about one replacing the other. No way. It's about creating a relationship where both human and machine bring their A game. Let me show you what I mean with some real-world examples. Okay, take a super high-stakes field like healthcare. An AI can scan hundreds of medical images in the time it takes a doctor to look at just one, and it might spot tiny anomalies the human eye could miss. But that final call, the diagnosis, the treatment plan, that absolutely requires human judgment, experience, and empathy.
Or think about creative teams. AI is like the ultimate brainstorming partner. It could spit out endless ideas and help you break through a creative rut. But it's the human who brings the vision, who understands what's culturally relevant, and who knows which idea is actually going to connect with people.
And this isn't just about office jobs either. This collaboration is transforming places like factories. These cobots, or collaborative robots, they handle the dangerous repetitive stuff. This frees up the human workers to focus on the tricky quality control issues and complex problems that require intuition, not just code. Okay, but hold on. Before we all get too excited about this amazing collaborative future, there's a massive, massive danger that every single leader needs to understand and actively fight against. And that is the bias trap. See, all of our brains are wired for shortcuts, and one of the absolute most dangerous ones in business is confirmation bias. It's that little voice in our head that loves to be right, so it looks for any piece of data that proves our existing beliefs and totally ignores all the warning signs telling us we're wrong. And here's why this is so terrifyingly important right now. As AI expert Cezary Pietrusik points out, if we take our own flawed, biased logic and feed it into an AI system, it won't just copy our mistakes. It's going to automate our errors, amplify them, and do it at a scale we can't even imagine. So this begs the million-dollar question, right? How in the world do you stop these powerful tools from becoming a high-speed engine for your own worst blind spots? Well, the solution isn't in the code, it's in the culture. The only way to fight this is to build an organization that systematically challenges itself. That means you have to create a space where it's safe for people to disagree, to be intellectually brave. It means running pre-mortems where you imagine a project has failed and work backward. And it means you have to start rewarding the people who find evidence that proves you wrong. So, with that crucial warning ringing in our ears, let's get practical. Let's look at the actual playbook for building your AI-ready team, starting with the skills they're going to need. The Southern Regional Education Board gives us this fantastic framework. And you know what's so brilliant about it is that the technical skills part is actually the smallest piece of the puzzle. The real foundation, the stuff that matters most, are the success skills, critical thinking, communication, and that industry baseline, which is all about shared responsibility for things like ethics and security. You can't just train your data scientists, you have to upskill everybody.
Okay, and here's how you put that into motion. Ignite's research gives us this super clear 5-step plan, and it's a loop, not a straight line. First, you have to be really honest and assess where your culture is today. Then you set clear goals, not for AI adoption, but for human resilience. The rollout has to be phased so you don't overwhelm everyone. And this is so important. You have to actively manage the change, and then you have to measure and celebrate the wins. This makes resilience a real business metric.
And through every single one of those steps, you have to remember this one thing. The technology is just a tool. Your strategy, your culture, your actual success, it is all built on the human element. Empathy, personalization, inclusivity, these aren't soft skills anymore. They are the absolute bedrock of a resilient organization. So the big takeaway here is this. Building an AI-ready workforce isn't some project with a start and an end date. It's a continuous, ongoing commitment to learning and adapting. You're not just getting ready for the future. You are actively creating it, one resilient team member at a time. So the only real question left is, where will you start?